Dear users of Reddit, was I wrong to insist on equal chores after the chore list was read at our dinner party?
Last night, my roommate's partner read aloud a printed chore audit during our potluck dinner party, ruining what should have been a fun evening. We were celebrating at a friend's wedding anniversary, hosting a small gathering with laughter and good food. Suddenly, my roommate's partner brought out a printed chore audit and announced its contents to everyone present, including our friends from work and family members. Everyone looked uncomfortable. They claimed it was just for transparency, but I felt embarrassed and like we were being publicly shamed. My roommate tried to defend their actions by saying issues need to be resolved openly in relationships. But the timing felt off, guests had already started eating, and there was an awkward silence around us while people digested what was said. A couple of guests exchanged glances that made me feel even more isolated. When asked why such a detailed document was shared among strangers, the response was vague. It's how we handle things between us. However, after some time passed, another guest chimed in. You could have handled it privately instead of involving all of us, which set up social pressure to move on from the situation. Despite feeling wronged, I insisted on equal chores before, so I couldn't simply dismiss this incident as harmless. The tension continued until someone suggested changing the subject, but I refused because I believed the real issue lay in the double standard and public scrutiny. Afterward, the atmosphere remained tense, and no one seemed willing to bring up the topic again. Would you have let the chore audit continue, or did it go too far? As the hostess, I managed the last few bites of food, trying to maintain composure amidst the growing discomfort. My roommate kept insisting that everything was fine, but her excuses didn't sit well with me. She argued that since we agreed to discuss these matters openly, it wasn't a big deal, but the way she talked about it made it clear that she hadn't fully considered the impact on others. Another guest leaned over and whispered, "This is really not appropriate. You guys can resolve your stuff later, right?" Her words added to the mounting pressure, making me question if I should push harder. Still, I held firm, knowing that backing down now would mean accepting something I found deeply unfair. The rest of the evening dragged on, each moment stretching longer than the last. Finally, when dessert arrived, I took a deep breath and addressed the group directly. I know it might seem trivial, but reading out those details in front of everyone feels incredibly invasive. Can we please find a better way to address these issues without embarrassing anyone? My voice wavered slightly, but I hoped it conveyed the seriousness of my concern. The room fell silent once again, and for a brief moment nobody spoke. Then the partner shifted uncomfortably, mumbling something about needing to keep things open and transparent. It was a weak excuse, but at least they acknowledged the weight of the situation. Yet the underlying tension lingered, hanging heavy like the leftover dishes piling up in the kitchen. Would you forgive them, or say this went too far?